Hello everyone, so my arm is in a sling as you can see because I slipped and fell on some ice, and while I can lightly hold some things like a mirror, just barely, like this, I can't do a whole lot else. I can barely bend or straighten my arm. It's not broken, but it's certainly strained. But I figured I would make a one-armed makeup tutorial for those of you who need a tutorial for using only one arm with your makeup because yeah, you also slipped and fell on ice, or you only have full mobility of one arm. So this is the tutorial for you if you can only fully use one arm. That being said, please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this video. Obviously, I can barely see at the moment, but I am going to attempt to prime my eyes with my cut crease canvas by holding what I can with my arm. I can barely hold this thing, but I can still hold it, even if I can barely do it. That's why the mirror is moving every which way, because I struggle to hold things right now because of my arm injury. I know I probably should keep my arm immobilized, but honestly I'm just too stubborn and want to be able to use both arms. Take of that as you will. I'm just blending out my cut crease canvas from Makeup Revolution, the white shade, on my eyelid, although because this is discontinued, I recommend like the e.l.f. Putty Primer or maybe the Juvia's Place eye primer as an alternative, because I know that this is discontinued. So yeah, as you can tell, it's been buffed out. And next, just to simplify things, I'm going to pop my bronzer, which is the e.l.f. Poreless, not Poreless, this is the e.l.f. Sunkissed bronzer. It's their primer infused bronzer, and it's in the shade Sunkissed, I believe, or something like that, and I'm going to pop that in my crease with a blending brush and just slowly build it up. I just find that this primer is really good for sticking shadows down and having them pop. Actually, let me adjust the lighting here because I can barely see. This is better. Much better. Okay. As you can tell, I put on my ring light so I can see better because I can barely see without my glasses. And next, I'm going to take another crease shade from my Profusion Emerald palette. This is going to be a very simple look, so don't feel too overwhelmed with all the colors being used. It's just the brown shade. I'm going to pop that on my outer corner and blend it into my bronzer. I think it looks pretty good. It's a little bit more pigmented and slightly different undertone than the bronzer. And that's what I want. Just something like this, as you can see. Very basic look so far. Next, I'm going to take a Multichrome. It's a loose Multichrome from Notoriously Morbid Cosmetics right here. Oh wait, yeah, I should probably keep my arm straight. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, but I'm used to using both arms. But if this is Trial by Stone, and I'm just gonna hope I can open this with one hand properly because I'm just gripping it with my left hand, which is a very risky move, as one might know. Maybe because I do have slightly more mobility in my arm right now because my arm is healing up, but you know, it's still not perfect. So I'm just going to hold the brush and then the sprayer in my dominant hand, which luckily happens to be the non-injured hand. I'm just going to spray the brush 3 times and hope it's thoroughly coated enough, and dip it into the Multichrome, and then dip it back down into the pot and press the Multichrome onto my eyes, like pressing and swiping. That's what you're going to want to do. Like that. As you can see, it's a very dimensional looking shade. I don't know if you can see it. It's a very dimensional shade. I really like it. It's from Notoriously Morbid Cosmetics, which I think is a very underrated indie brand, and I wish it got more press. Not sponsored, by the way, or affiliated. I just happen to really like the brand from the one Multichrome that I tried, and I like their aesthetic as somebody who is a witch. So, yeah. And for those of you who didn't know, yes, I'm a witch. So, yeah. Next, I'm going to take Galaxy from my Profusion Emerald palette and pop it onto the outer corner for a bit of extra dimension. It does create fallout, so you're going to want to clean that up. It's like a wipe or something, or your concealer, depending on what your techniques are. As you can see, it does add extra dimension. I'm just smudging it on my lower lash line. Like that. And then I'm going to go back to my creasy bronzer shade. Not creasy, but like my crease bronzer shade, and just kind of, or the brown shade, either one honestly will work. I'm just kind of buffing out the green, just the outer corner shade a little bit, just to make it a little bit more subtle. If that makes sense. Yep. I'm thinking this is looking pretty good so far. Honestly, it's like a neutral look with a bit of a dimensional shift, which is what I was going for, honestly. So, I'm gonna put the cap back onto my Multichrome slowly, because it's a little difficult. It hurts a little. Oh no, I dropped it. I'm hoping it didn't spill everywhere. I think it's mostly closed, but I'm gonna have to check that later. But next, I'm going to apply a bluey highlighter to my inner corner with a brush. Just like a shading brush with this, just like a little flat shader like this. This is what I'm going to use into a bluey white duochromatic shade. This is Ulta's Prismatic Mermaid, so you can honestly use what you want. I think Twilight Tint by NYX is a pretty good dupe for this, or like that Loomy shade in the ColourPop Blue Moon would work. Honestly, either one, any of those would work. Actually, I think I'm going to add a little more dimension. This might be a mistake, but I don't care. I'm throwing on this LA Girl Dream Glitter shade, like this, and just popping it on, like that. Like that. Yep. Well, honestly, I should be opening and closing shades less. I probably should have done this before the video, because, man, it is not comfortable. Which is probably telling me that I needed to open them beforehand. Arrogant assistance, but honestly I'm stubborn. I like to do things myself without assistance sometimes, and that's where it leads me to here. So yeah, there you can see this all blended out, and I think it looks very dimensional and like almost like fall going into winter. That's what it reminds me of. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I'm gonna go take my Breakup Proof liner from Wet n Wild. Just apply a little bit of eyeliner, and I'll get back to you. Alright, this eyeliner here is a little bit more thick than this eyeliner here, but don't think I mind it. They are distantly related cousins, not twins. But next, I think I'm going to go in with some concealer and things of that nature. So I'm going to go, that's my mascara. Again, I can't see very well, so seeing one rose gold tube from another is really difficult distinguishing them. So I'm going to put CO1, which is my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate, which is my favorite formulation. I think they're getting rid of it, which sucks for me, because of course, whenever I find a favorite, brand's got to discontinue it. Maybe, who knows? I don't think it's that deep, but you know what I mean. It's just frustrating when I find a favorite and then brands discontinue it. I think we all know the struggle. Struggle is real. Struggle is real. Yep. Just continue applying this with a brush. A little angle brush with BEAKEY from Amazon. Like that. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna need foundation. But hey, if I do need it, I need it, but I don't think I really need it, honestly. I think I just need the concealer. Good. Yeah. The concealer is more than full coverage enough for my needs or wants, so yeah. And plus the foundation doesn't match me all the way, so that's always fun. I'm going to take a little bit of, actually before I powder, some cream blush, if I can find it. It's way down here. It's this Peach Bums from Wet n Wild. I'm going to apply it here, and here, and here, like that. That's all I really need, because it really shears out easily. That's why I apply so much on myself. I know it's not the most sanitary or hygienic way of doing it, but it's not like I share my makeup, so I don't really care, because it's all my makeup, and it's not like I'm being I'm sharing it and potentially infecting someone's face. It's just my face. So, whatever. I don't really care. It's my face bacteria. Which is pretty gross when I think about it, actually. I should probably clean my brushes more. But once my arm's healed, honestly. I need to straighten this more so it's comfortable. But as you can tell, I applied my blush. I'm going to apply a little bit of this Becca, rest in peace Becca, rose gold, or something. I think it's called rose gold. It's their little highlighter, but I use it as an orange shimmery blush. I just apply it right here, like that, and I think it looks pretty good. Like that, just like this. This is how I like to apply it. Honestly, I think it looks decent. Next I'm gonna go in with my bronzer, which is underneath all these other shades, and oh boy, everything's dropping like it was earlier. Another brush drops, another one bites the dust. Hopefully I don't get copyright strike for that, but I don't really care because I don't monetize my videos, so whatever. I'm just putting my e.l.f. bronzer onto my face lightly because I don't want to look like an Oompa Loompa or someone with a really bad fake tan. I just want to look like I'm sun-kissed, honestly. Like, I don't want it to be too noticeable, just like subtle warmth, which, I mean, this may not be very subtle, but yeah. And now I'm gonna rearrange stuff off camera, so yeah. Alright, next I'm going in with this UCANBE Glistening highlighter palette. It's pretty nice, actually. Glittery, yes, but nice nonetheless. I'm dipping into the last two shades, the gold and the white, and mixing them, and I'm gonna apply it because I need that icy highlight for me because I am very pale. As you can tell, I'm very pale, so I need the iciest highlight I can get, which honestly I don't mind. I know a lot of people do mind, but I don't. I find it looks very flattering. They look very flattering on my skin tone. They are exactly what I'm looking for, so when people are like, oh, this is so icy, that's when I know it's a good highlighter for me. As you can tell, this is what my makeup looks like. Man, my face is probably cut off the whole time, but I honestly don't care because I can't see very well. I'm going to apply my mascara, so yeah, and get out my brush that I use to apply the Multichrome so I can just neaten it up if it smudges everywhere, because it tends to transfer, unfortunately. Oh, it's still wet. Man, it's hard to talk. Okay. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. It's my favorite mascara because of how dark and long it makes my lashes look, and voluminous. Honestly. My holy grail. Even if it does transfer. Yeah. Oh, well, it got on my face. Whatever. I'm gonna wait for it to dry so you can tell it got onto me. That, and I'm going to go back in with my foundation brush wherever it might be, which is right here, so I can pull it out. I'm just going back over. Like that, and then going back over with my highlighter, which is right here. I almost grabbed the wrong brush, which would not have been good. I want my glow to be extreme, so I'm just putting it on, and I think this is pretty good, pretty decent. And now I'm going to apply Witch Please from Wet n Wild. I'm going to turn off my camera for this so I can really focus and not get my lipstick everywhere. Alright, so here's the finished look. I hope you enjoy. This is Hawk signing out. Stay healthy.